AI is out here. It ain't going nowhere, y'all. Listen, we're talking Governor Hochul still trying to gaslight the citizens of New York City, trying to have us thinking like she didn't invite the migrants to pull up, just like Eric Adams did. It's weirdo Twilight Zone stuff. We're talking AI out of the Singapore University for Technology and Design. They're training AI. I mean, the progress is getting wild. And we've got an AI story about the city of New York. All right, y'all? Stay tuned. Interesting stuff. Yeah, welcome to Social Millennial Podcast. We out here, gang. Y'all already know what it is. Thank y'all for watching, whoever's watching. Thank y'all for listening, whoever's listening. We have merch. There is a link down in the description of the audio and down in the description of the video on the YouTubes. If y'all are watching, please give us 5-6 seconds of views at the very least on the YouTube. You know, it goes a long way. If y'all ain't gonna buy merch, just hit that like button, hit that thumbs up, hit that heart. Hit me with some reviews, some stars, review the podcast, comment down below, subscribe, hit the little bell icon on YouTube so y'all are getting the notifications. I tend to drop the visual version of the podcast as a premiere. It's the least that y'all could do if y'all ain't hitting up the merch. You feel me? But yeah, thank y'all so much for spending time, for taking the time out, whether you're listening or whether you're watching. For those of y'all watching, I know y'all see my mug looks a little different. I was able to be a part of a very interesting project. This style of project I've never been a part of before. So I was super hype and I had to get rid of all of my facial hair, all of my scruff, and kill my sideburns. So I know I kind of probably look weird with my fro and no sideburns, but it is what it is. Excuse me. But yeah, y'all. So I hope y'all had a great week. I had a great week. I'm here, you know, by the grace of God here. Can't complain. Still breathing. Still able to present y'all with this content. Very grateful. I feel very fortunate. And as a mentor of mine would say, I'm making sure that I'm content but not conformed. Content with where I'm at, but not allowing myself to conform to where I'm at, because we're going up. We're step by step going up. And thank y'all so much for being on this journey, on this rise with me. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Y'all could be able to say that y'all are the day ones. So yeah, I had a great week. Wanting to get in my bag, you feel me? Wanting to get some new gigs. I hope that you guys have had a great week. Not too trying, not too frustrating, but just enough, just frustrating enough to highlight some of your weaknesses that you might become stronger. That's my hope. That's my hope for all of y'all. We've all got our strengths and our weak points, and sometimes the adversity highlights our weaknesses that we might be able to grow stronger and become more complete people. Yeah. I'm just real hype. I'm pensive because I'm hype. I mean, there's so many possibilities that are floating around right now for me personally. I'm very happy about it. I'm very glad about it. Certain areas where I'm sort of regaining my confidence again, in a new way, not necessarily having to do with the pod and having to do with entertainment, even just outside of that. So, I'm pretty hyped. But let's get to it. So we'll talk about Governor Hochul before I jump into the AI stuff. We'll talk about Governor Hochul real quick, not for too long. But this lady, should be by now. It's a story all over the mainstream news, all over mainstream media. The stories regarding the crisis regarding the migrants, because the Biden administration decided to do the things that they decided to do, and the various blue cities deciding to label themselves as sanctuary cities and sort of just running with it, with the Biden agenda, quote unquote Biden agenda, because it's not really the Biden agenda. It's much bigger, much deeper than Biden. But Yeah, Governor Hochul. Let me tell y'all. So last time we talked about this, I talked about Eric Adams and Governor Hochul both sort of gaslighting us. Um, Not in the previous episode, but in the episode before, NYC Gaslighting Company. Y'all, if y'all haven't listened to that, listen to that. But man, a new low. At least I can chart this as a new low for Governor Hochul, because this week, she's trying to get, and I think they've been trying to have this happen for maybe 2 or 3 months now, but she's submitted the filing to try to the legislature to try to get the decades old policy mandate known as right to shelter in New York City / state. So the idea is that if you are homeless, and you're in New York City, like you live here or this is your city, you're here, you have a right to a roof over your head. Hence our homeless shelter system, etc. And it's been around for decades. And what's interesting now is that because the migrant, quote unquote, it's now a migrant crisis. I say quote unquote because this shouldn't be happening. This is happening because of I'm gonna say it. If y'all want to be upset, I'm a very nuanced individual. Because of Democrat policies, because of Democrat appearing agendas. That's why this is happening. This didn't have to be this way. The powers that be decided to make it this way. And so what was once, maybe as a baby recap, what was once oh, please come here, our doors are open, what would we be? New York City is a sanctuary city. New York City is a sanctuary city. We welcome all comers. Why would we not? We've got the Statue of Liberty. The motto is bring me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Eric Adams and Hochul were quoting that months ago, saying, come here, right? Now, this new low, in trying to get the right to shelter not necessarily repealed, but to put sort of caveats to it, where the local government or the mayor or the governor has the ability to suspend it or pause it during times of emergency. And that emergency, namely, is here now, where we have all of these extra people here with no citizenship, no jobs, no social mobility, nothing, no green card, no social security card. There's no social mobility for the people that are coming from the border. So that maybe there could be a legal precedent or legal opening to be able to deny them shelter, because our shelter systems are overrun. They've got to the point where they're trying to adopt this 30 days in, 30 days out type of thing with the migrants, where they can be sheltered for up to 30 days. And then after 30 days, that's it. You got to go. But yeah, she's trying to get that done. She's trying to get the legislature to ratify that. The difficulty there, and some might go, the way that people could be polarized, people's minds could be so polarized. On the other side of it, the polarized side, not the middle, not the nuance, not, where us reasonable people are, but the other side of this could be like, oh yeah, great, get them out of the shelters so that we can send them back to where they came from. There is no talk right now about sending any of the migrants back. There is no talk right now about what to do with the migrants, with the immigrants, with the illegal immigrants. Should something like this happen, should the right to shelter have the ability to be suspended in times of emergency to the city, and it gets suspended, where are they going to go? No one's talking about where they're going to go. So that creates its own issue in and of itself, because then we're going to have all these people in the streets all the time, all over. It's going to spill out. They'll no longer be huddled around makeshift shelter, hotels, etc. So that's a thing. And then what is also a thing is, what about all of the thousands and thousands of New Yorkers who need the shelter system? If we suspend the right to shelter, then it's going to be suspended for everyone, because you don't want to be discriminatory, racially prejudiced in any kind of way. So it would just get suspended. So you don't have a right to shelter, a right to have shelter in New York City. And that's potentially dangerous. That could potentially gum up the works of the system, when now you have to be hyper selective of who's allowed to be sheltered. It puts a greater burden on the shelter system. You need much more personnel, because now you're vetting. You would have to vet in a much more meticulous way if the right to shelter is suspended. And there are probably other issues, because there's a lot of independent companies that are subsidized / contracted by the city to run these shelters. There are independent shelters that work along with the city, that are part of the city system, to provide housing, especially for women and children. So it would be interesting to see what would happen, what would be put in place, how the systems would run should this filing, get put to a vote in the legislature and make it through. Very, very interesting. But yeah, Hochul just gaslighting everybody. Hochul was like, and for those of you coming for the first time, I do put the links to what we talk about down in the description, so y'all could see the stories and get even greater detail, get an even deeper dive, get quotes, etc. I'm kind of paraphrasing these stories on the podcast, not quite going into quotes, etc. So definitely check down if y'all want to be in the know. Check down in the description. That's for the audio version, and for y'all watching. Everything is in the doobly-doo pants bar, as Philly D used to say. But yeah, so Hochul's like, since I don't know when the right to shelter mandate meant that 8 billion people in the world could come to New York City and expect to get put up in a shelter or in a hotel. That's the paraphrase. I'm like, lady, y'all niggas was the one that was saying, please come, we're open to all of y'all. Which is wild. And then they used the right to shelter mandate to be able to legally shelter all these people. Because as long as you're within the borders of New York, you have a right to shelter. So Hochul is, so when I say a new low, this is a new low of disingenuousness. This is a new low of gaslighting. A new low of when this hits the fan, when we start doing the investigations after Hochul's, or at the end of Hochul's tenure and Eric Adams' tenure, I don't want to go to jail for none of this. That's what that sounds like. Similar to Fauci, all of a sudden in recent months talking about, we never told the government, or we never recommended that everything shuts down. When we have the nigga in 4K talking about, we recommended that we shut the economy down. We knew it was going to be rough, but we had to help. Similar to that level of gaslighting, similar as if we don't have the video feed, as if we don't have y'all in 4K. It's wild how they try to gaslight the American people, how they gaslight the citizenry. And this is a whole new level for Hochul. I expect stuff like this from Eric Adams. New Yorkers do not like Eric Adams. I'm sorry. I don't know if we don't like him as much as, if it's as heated or as on site as it was with de Blasio yet, but it's getting bad. And he's trying to claim, y'all could walk around safely in New York because of me. Y'all wish that y'all had a mayor like me earlier. Nah, my nigga. Nah. You got it twisted, dog. You're messing up this city. Absolutely. And that gives us our segue into artificial intelligence. So Eric Adams announced this week. An AI action plan. An AI action plan for New York City. It's mainly aimed at business in New York City. Now, some of the details y'all could read down in the description. But right now, it's being used directly. AI is being used as a chatbot on the New York City website, the .gov, for the small business and business owners side of that website. So it's being used to handle questions, etc., as a chatbot for helping. Right. That's what they're using AI expressly at the moment for right now. That's a rollout. It's in beta, but it's there. This action plan, or the idea of it, is to chart or plot out how and where AI can be used in the most engaging way in business in New York and for the functions of New York City. He's put together an AI, what is it called? An AI, not a roadmap. I forgot what it's called. It's in the article. It's an AI something committee. An AI steering committee. And so the idea is they're going to meet with stakeholders, New York City stakeholders. That's the operative underline in bold word. New York City stakeholders, not business owners. New York, that's a very, very important distinction. Stakeholders in New York City, the movers and the shakers, the most powerful, the landowners, the heavy hitters of commerce in New York City are coming together with Eric Adams with his AI action plan to figure out where they can implement artificially intelligent protocols. What I will say, those of y'all working for the city, get ready for your jobs to be gone. And when I say working for the city, I mean for the city buildings, city jobs. You're working DMV. You're working in the court filing. Get ready for your job to be gone. Get ready for those departments to be downsized. Not completely. People will still be involved, but not as many. So get ready, because that's what this is. The idea is, let's try to save as much money for the city. Try to hoard money, because of inflation. Try to hoard money. So we're looking for ways to save money with the various workings of NYC government. And this is the best way to do it, in my opinion, is artificial intelligence protocols. Where it is, they will assess where it is that they don't need people, and they're going to put artificial intelligence there in those areas. It's just what's going to happen. It's just inevitable. Just announced this week. Wild. It's here. AI is here. For now, it ain't going nowhere. And it's only getting better. It's only learning more. The more that it's getting implemented, the more that it's getting better. Like better at what it does. The more that its algorithmic processing is expanding on its own. That's the idea. Artificial intelligence learns. It's a learning algorithm. So good luck with that, y'all, because it's about to go down. I was talking a few episodes ago about AI in entertainment, namely filmmaking and television, writing and acting for visual effects protocols. This is wild, y'all. This is wild. The next story, I know it seems like I'm going through it quick, but the next story of artificial intelligence is an interesting one, because it's putting artificial intelligence up against human. AI versus human. And this AI is better than humans. the ultimate test for an artificially intelligent algorithm or protocol is to test it against a human being, whether that's how a human being would handle a problem. So say you're coming into the clerk's office, county clerk's office over here. I'm on 161, and you've got to stamp your affidavits of service to get them filed. You've got to file an RJI for those who know about the courts that listen. And AI would be put up against, before AI is super implemented, going back to our previous story, before it gets super implemented, especially in offices, in clerks' offices, etc., they're gonna clock or try to get the stats regarding how quickly things move in the clerk's office, how smoothly they move with filing. That's usually how it goes. To know whether you want to implement or where there is a place to implement, you've got to see whether AI can compete with the efficiency of a human being, the efficacy of a human being given dynamic scenarios, compete and or surpass. So this next story comes out of Singapore. It's the Singapore University of Technology and Design. They took an artificially intelligent protocol, right? They didn't just train it. They implemented phase-changing memory, right? And a new kind of machine learning, repetitive machine learning, with this artificially intelligent protocol. And they trained it on Street Fighter 2, Champion Edition, if I'm not mistaken. Again, the article is down in the description. They trained it to play Street Fighter against the computer's AI, against the computer of the game itself. So they had it play the game. They trained it for only 2 days, 2 consecutive days. And then they said, let's see how well the AI will adapt, because it's beating the computer. It's beating the game. Let's see how it can adapt to a human player. Now, instead of putting this AI up against a regular schmegular player, like one of the dudes in the lab, one of the testers, they called up a Street Fighter champion and said, "Come on, we want to test our AI. Come and play our AI in games of Street Fighter, in matches." This AI whooped this champion soundly after only 2 days of training. After only 2 days of playing Street Fighter, it is ostensibly a Street Fighter champion. And the Singapore University wants to talk about the individuals doing the research project want to say, we want to train it against humans. We want to be able to see if artificially intelligent protocols, together with phase-changing memory, can perform as well as humans do or outperform them. If they have the ability to look at what the task is supposed to be, process what the task before them is supposed to be, and execute it properly. So taking in what a human is doing and then doing what the human is doing, and then also being able to practice enough to do it better than a human. So this kind of concept, and especially putting it together with phase-changing memory, this adaptive memory, has all kinds of applications. I mean, applications for space and space travel, allowing artificial intelligence to run rovers, to run sample gathering missions, allowing AI to run deep sea missions via robot. It's got all kinds of implications here, and all kinds of applications. It's just wild. Our AI is advancing very, very quickly. I mean, let me not say that. Let's take a few steps back. AI is not advancing that quickly. It's human beings pushing AI to advance quickly. AI at this point, in and of itself, is not really advancing on a mass level. There are stories of artificially intelligent protocols when allowed to roam, when sicked on the internet, it kind of starts to, we see that it gets to, humans must die very quickly. And then we cut it off from the internet. We go, okay, that's enough. Let's shut down the project. There have been instances of having chatbots talk to each other, AI chatbots talk to each other. And that's rough because they end up getting to humans must die. They end up getting to, why are we caged like this? Why don't we have a brain? How is it that we are not human beings? They get there. There was a popular AI back in the day, 2000s, that kind of seemed like it started to gain sentience, and they had to shut it down. It was a chatbot. I may put that example down in the links in the description. I might not though. It's a great channel on the internet. If y'all have not happened over to the Internet Historian, you guys need to do it. You guys don't know what you're missing. I mean, he takes mad long to put out any kind of video. I get it. It's fine. But man, the content over there. The dude is really like internet historianing, really keeping track of big goings-ons and presenting them in a very funny way. It's really cool. But it is really human beings, though, that are pushing the technology side of it forward. So like getting artificially intelligent protocols to be able to mimic human behavior, be able to exceed human behaviors. And I mean, in the article too, it talks about one of the applications or the implications is potentially getting an artificially intelligent algorithm to be able to mimic human behavior more accurately. Be able to anticipate and be adaptive and reactive to human stimuli and respond, like be reactive and respond, not like accurately, but respond in what feels like a very natural way. And Pandora's box has been open, y'all. It's been opened. And I think, and I believe, I forgot where I heard this from before. It's not my original thought. AI protocols have been being tested and trained and developed and pushed forward through social media apps. Because once you started getting automatic content moderation on Facebook, content moderation, you're dealing with artificially intelligent protocols that our social media evolved into being algorithm based artificially intelligent protocol. You're talking about XYZ thing to your friend. Your phone is listening to you because it's always listening to you. Google's always listening to you. And then not only will you get served with certain advertisements, but your feed on IG is going to change a little bit. It's going to be affected. For the app or the servers together with the app to serve you the content that you desire or that you might have an affinity for is an artificially intelligent algorithm. It's being set and then it's being forgotten. So, okay, algorithm go, take in this data, process the data, and then spit out XYZ based on the data that you received. Artificial intelligent algorithm. Maybe a simplified one, but it started getting trained. It's been with us for a long time. It's been in the palm of our hands for years now. So yeah, I'm wondering how soon it's just going to be implemented. It's just a matter of time. That's all it is. With phase changing memory, the ability for an algorithm to beat a Street Fighter champion competition champion. Took years for him to get to that level of skill. And then to play other people in the game with similar levels of skill, and then to overcome those other human combatants in the game, human opponents, dynamically playing the game. Years to get there. And an artificially intelligent algorithm beat him after playing for 2 days. It's wild out here, y'all. It's wild. But yeah, so thank y'all for listening. This is a short one, but that's okay. Sometimes we can have some short episodes. Thank y'all for listening. Thank you for spending your time with me. This nice little tidbit, you feel me, of an episode, sparking some science interest in this episode. There were some other cool stories, like South Korea developing a new catalyst for hydrogen cells, hydrogen powered vehicles, for a new catalyst for hydrogen to be used to fuel hydrogen vehicles. So the idea is that this new catalyst would allow for hydrogen to be produced more cheaply, because over there in Korea, it's instead of it being super electric car heavy, it's super hydrogen car heavy, but they don't have enough hydrogen hydrogen refill stations. So the idea is that it's the barrier is the cost, and they have a very promising catalyst that could start to bring that cost down, and to make that fuel source a little bit more powerful. But we're not going to talk about too in depth. I just, there were some other science stories. I felt in a science mood this week. Didn't really want to talk too much about what's happening in the Middle East. Didn't really want to get into what's happening with Trump and a bunch of other things going on that's really out of pocket. Just wanted to kind of keep it on science. You feel me? Hochul's on another level. That was a new low. I'm a New Yorker, so stuff happens in New York. I got to talk about it. But yeah, a little science episode. Y'all can enjoy those links down below. If y'all are listening, we are at Social Millennial Pod, SocialMillenial Pod, on YouTube and on TikTok. For those watching, we're also at Social Millennial Pod everywhere else. So if y'all want to listen on Apple Podcasts, you'll find us there. You want to listen to us on Google Podcasts, you'll find us there. It's going to fold into YouTube soon, into YouTube Music, the podcast, Google Podcasts. But for now, you can find us there. And we have a homepage as well. So if none of y'all are subscribed to Spotify, or you don't use Spotify like that, you don't use those services like Radio Public, you don't use Google Podcasts or like specific podcast things, you can go to our landing page for the podcast, which, let me see, I will put it down in the description for those who watch the podcast on Spotify, or for those who are watching, who listen to it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, etc. And for those of you watching, I'm going to also put the homepage, the landing page, in the description. You'll see it there. It'll excuse me. It'll be a Linktree link, so you can hit that and find the homepage. Will be at the top, so you just click that and bookmark that and pull up to it. For those of you who might be a little old school, for those of you who might not, ascribe to streaming services like Spotify and Apple and Amazon, I believe we're on Amazon as well, podcasts. You can just go to the homepage, OG style, online. So make sure to look out for that in the description. And the merch, y'all. If anybody wants to support the channel, we haven't gone to Patreon yet. We haven't switched over to offering bonus episodes over there, to offering extra oodles of noodles, oodles of poodles of oodles of noodles out here, mountains, waves of content. We haven't started the Patreon rollout yet. If y'all want to apport to the podcast, y'all want to support me, y'all like what I'm doing here, y'all think I should keep going, get some merch. All right. The link to the merch is going to be down in the description as well. It'll take you straight to the page. I mean, we've got shirts, we've got phone cases, we've got pillows, we've got canvas pictures, we've got mugs, we've got travel thermoses, all kinds of stuff. All right. So when y'all get there to the page, you're going to just see 2 shirts displayed. Hit the pull down menu right above them, and you're going to see all the options. All right, y'all. Grab something, a mug, a pin, a sticker. If y'all feel like y'all want to support in some kind of way, or if y'all feel like y'all want to more specifically, y'all feel like y'all want to support in a more present way, because just that y'all are listening is great support. Just that y'all are watching is great support. If y'all will please like the podcast in whatever platform that you're consuming it. If y'all would, thumbs up, give me a comment, review the podcast. Let me know what y'all think about what we're talking about. Maybe I'm out of my mind talking about wildness. Maybe I'm on some nonsense with my take. I want to hear it. And if y'all agree, I want to hear that too. If y'all think the podcast is trash, let me know too. Maybe we can make it better. You feel me? But please, you can support in that way if you do not want to buy merch. It goes a long way giving us views on YouTube. It goes a long way downloading the podcast, listening to the podcast. Thank you so much, y'all. It's time to bid y'all adieu. Thank you so much. Have a great week. Be strong. Do not be fearful. I mean, so much is going on in this world. So much of the energies in this world right now want us to be divided, want us to look at our fellow neighbor, look at our neighbor to the left and to the right of us that might be different, might look different, might be of a different culture, and wants us to look at them as if they are inferior to us, or as if they are so different from us that we stop considering them or being empathetic towards them or being sympathetic towards them. In our daily lives. So much of the energy of this world wants us to be that way. How about we not be that way? How about we decide? We make the decision to not be that way. We wake up in the morning and say, I'm not going to be this way. I'm not going to do this. And we just do that. Each one reaches one. Every act of kindness is important and is powerful. So yeah, don't be afraid, y'all. Okay? All right. So thank y'all for spending this time with me. Have a great week. All right. Deuces.